Good evening, guys. My name is Kukuletu Notata Dlamini, and welcome to our SEIH interview series. Now, I'm not here alone, but I'm with a game changer of our very institution, and he goes by the name of Emmanuel Kiyonga. Great. So, Emmanuel, please introduce yourself. Tell us, who are you? Why are you an entrepreneur? Why are you a game changer? What makes you different?
Okay, my name is Emmanuel Kiyonga, as she said. I'm a pharmacy student here at SMU, but I started off by doing BSc in Occupation and Environmental Health. So I was born in Uganda, but I was raised in South Africa. I moved to South Africa when I was 13 years old. So basically, I'm into farming. I have passion when it comes to farming, agriculture, and which involves plants and animals. So my game and my strategy in entrepreneurship was me being a Ugandan born. What is it that is new that I could bring to South Africa that I might have got from Uganda? So I looked around South Africa and I saw there are certain things which are here that are not at home, and there are certain things I know that are in Uganda that are not here. For example, being a health science student, I realized that a lot of people are struggling with chronic conditions in South Africa, like diabetes, hypertension, asthma, such things. So in our country, in Uganda, such things are not much of a challenge. The challenge is mostly infectious diseases like malaria, cholera. So I said to myself, what is it that I could bring? Why is it that in Uganda, people are not really dying of chronic conditions? And why is it that in South Africa, people are dying of chronic conditions? Then I said, okay, what food do Ugandan people eat? Then I realized that there's a variety and a wide range of fruits that they eat. And there's this particular one called the jackfruit, which caught my attention. So I caught the jackfruit. I went into research about this jackfruit. I made in-depth research about the jackfruit, the chemical structure, the different studies made about it. Then I realized that, actually this fruit has the capacity and the composition to fight these conditions. What if we bring it now into South Africa, into the market? Then that was my game-changing plan, to bring a jackfruit into the South Africa.
Yes, that's amazing actually, because last year we had a student entrepreneurship week where we celebrated entrepreneurship again, where we allowed students to come and pitch their ideas as to how are they game changers. And this was the very project that you came and pitched, and he won third place in this competition, which shows that sometimes it doesn't take an explosive idea to make a difference. It only takes you to identify the problem, which you did, and then come with a solution. Yes. So I just want to ask, so do you think it is very vital to have integrated learning? So for instance, yes, you are studying a health science degree, and you have an interest in farming. So those two come together and brought about the solution. Or does one really have to go and study farming and then come and say, look, I have this idea? What do you think?
Not really. You don't really have to study farming. Like you said, integrated learning. You must be open-minded as a student. And remember that we're heading towards the fourth industrial revolution. We might be studying as health science students, but are we going to be able to find jobs? So it brings about the idea of going out of the box and looking for better opportunities. Farming and agriculture is one of the sectors that is well taken care of by the government. We are in a situation where government is speaking about expropriation of land without compensation. But one of the requirements is you must be able to make use of that land for agricultural purposes, for food security. So there's so many opportunities out there. Don't limit yourself to what you do. Just be open-minded and integrate yourself in a lot of things, not just farming. It could be computer studies. It could be, there's quite a lot of technology. You need to be, to go out there. So I'm not limited to my health science studies, to my degree, my pharmacy degree. I'm broad. Like I told you, my passion is especially into farming. I want to do farming on a large scale.
That's very interesting, because right now food security is one aspect that is very, very, very challenged because the population is increasing, the food supply is not. So on that note, what is your game plan? So as a student entrepreneur, 5 years from now, what do you see yourself doing?
Okay. From 5 years from now, first of all, the fact that I'm not a citizen, it sort of gives me a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of acquisition of land. But the first step is to acquire land. That's step one. You acquire land, and being a non-citizen, I'm working with citizens like locals to facilitate this process of acquiring land as big as we can. Then we start developing the land. Of course, we don't need much equipment. A jackfruit is not a fruit whereby you need a lot of equipment. Once you acquire land, you plow it, you plant the seed, and then you start irrigating it. And of course, you must get a lot of support from agriculture departments like Department of Agriculture and all that. But the aim is to go beyond as big as we can, and the aim is to develop communities. And our target is, struggling communities. We don't intend to do farming in developing communities, like you said, food security. But there's also a challenge of job creation. There are no jobs. So through these projects, we can create jobs. For local. So 5 years from now, I intend to have a very, very big farm. The only obstacle now is academics, but once we are done with this obstacle, we will.
That's amazing. You mentioned one critical challenge that you said with citizenship. Besides that, as a student entrepreneur, how is the balance? Like, are you okay? How are you managing to balance academics as well as your passions and your dreams and your visions? What other challenge has it posed, or are you able to balance it?
Multitasking is one of the, when you are a multitasker, you tend to think better. It sharpens your brain, and it also sharpens your actions. It clears your actions. So academically, it's an advantage to me because I do a lot of research, and that involves studying, and it's actually improving my academics. My grades are improving because of multitasking, unlike someone who's just focused on one thing. So academically is not much of a challenge. I'm coping, I'm moving. I'm a multitasker myself. I don't like sitting around and doing nothing. By the way, to come up with this idea, I didn't get it from class. It came from myself. Then I went out there and I started to do my own research. So I don't think my academics will be a little bit compromised. No, they will actually be, added on to. And also, remember, it adds to your CV. It adds to your CV if you are, let's say, to go into the pharmacy industry. It adds to your CV that you are actually a farmer, and also adds to your skills.
Skills,
it improves your skills.
So this is such an amazing idea. How can students that are watching this and they resonate with what you're saying be involved with you, or is it possible? Is there space for other students that are wanting to go into agriculture to join you and perhaps work for you? Because that is how you get your experience. You can't necessarily just jump into your occupation, but build the experience through learning. That's why EDHE emphasizes that you earn while learning. So is there a platform within your idea to involve students to come and work for you and earn something while they're learning?
100%. On campus here at SMU, we have a Green Campus Initiative, of which you are the chairperson. And this initiative is an initiative of students. It involves students. So within this Green Campus Initiative, I said to myself, what is it that we can do for the students to involve them in order to empower them? And we came up with an idea of, coming up with a farm, of which the papers are still under process. So the idea of that was, how can we involve students into the ideology of farming, at the same time create some sort of an income for them, because we were planning to start with vegetables, cabbage, spinach, and then the products which come out, we sell them to the university community, like to the cafeteria, to the surrounding communities. In exchange, money will be coming out, and it also gives an opportunity to students to, to explore the farming and the agriculture industry. So we are thinking about that, and we are really into action with that. That's within the SME community, and within the communities we are doing a lot of projects. We are growing a lot of cabbages and carrots in different communities, rural areas. we are targeting rural areas, and then everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome as long as you have a passion to work and you are willing to earn while you are studying. You are welcome to come on board. And I don't think GCI also limits students.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. One thing though, giving an advice to another student who's like, oh, I would like to start something like that, but I'm not sure. What are the 5 things that you would tell them?
Okay. Number one, it starts with an idea. However crazy the idea it is. Actually, most people who make it in life start with these crazy ideas where only them believe in the idea. So start with an idea, come up with.
Go ahead.
So you start with an idea, you believe in that idea. Then after you've come up with an idea, go set up a plan of action. Come up with a plan of action because action is the most important thing. Come up with a plan of action, draw your vision, your mission, go after it. After setting up the plan of action, we want to do those actions which you've set up. Yeah, implement, go out there, look for opportunities, go knock on those, implementation, and then afterwards you evaluate.
Yeah.
Say, 2 months ago I came up with this idea, I drew up a plan of action, I went to knock on different offices and I implemented. What have I achieved?
Yes.
Yeah, you evaluate on what you've achieved. Yeah, so those are the 5 things.
Oh, that's amazing, guys. I mean, I am inspired just listening to Kiyonga's mindset, and this is really interesting because it also challenges me with how am I thinking innovative? How am I thinking entrepreneurship? And I mean, it's all about being a student, taking an idea while you're in the perimeters of your education, your academic life, and then ensuring that you make a change right here. So you indeed are a game changer. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that? What social media platforms are you on?
Yeah.
Email address, how can we get in touch with you?
Okay, you can get in touch with me. Facebook, I'm Emmanuel Kiyonga. Twitter, I'm at Amazonwell. So you just put a ZO in the Nwell. Same with Instagram, Amazonwell. And then you can call me on my WhatsApp. Text me 081803554. The advantage also to it for students here at SM is we have free Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Free Wi-Fi, you can use it. There's no limitation. You use it to explore different opportunities. So yeah, you can get in touch with me. My email address is kiyonga.emmanuel@gmail.com. It's 2 Emmanuels. kiyonga.emmanuel.emmanuel@gmail.com. Then we can move.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much,
Emmanuel, for taking the time to share your experience, to share your idea, to share what your vision is. Guys, if you see this face on campus, don't be afraid. Go up to him, interact with him, and see what you can learn or you can add on. This is Google Sidamini and Emmanuel Kiyonga.
Before you conclude, I want to thank the entrepreneurship, the SEIH, the SEIH. I want to thank them because when they came up with this idea of the competition, it's, they required no money to get it. You just had to come up with your idea and present it, and they were so open-minded, and so we took advantage of that, and we were there, and they invited a lot of investors, people who listen to our pitches, and these same people that are still communicating with us. So when you see these people coming up with an event, take advantage, don't sit, come on board. And I want to thank Google as well for her leadership. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. So guys, at the end of the month of September, we will be running, as he said, the SEW, which is Student Entrepreneurship Week. So please get involved, bring your ideas, pitch it, and see, you could even win a prize. He was a third runner-up.
Won a lot of money.
He won how much?
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
We won't disclose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But be involved, guys. All it takes is an idea, implementation of the idea, and the fruits of it. On behalf of SEIH, which is Student Entrepreneurship and Innovation Hub, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and on Twitter. And this video will be uploaded on YouTube at SMU,